Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining today's webinar, Why You Should Join Us, being PC Bennett, at Acumatica Summit 2024. On the call today, we're going to be covering all the relevant information pertaining to the year's largest gathering of the Acumatica community that features partners like PC Bennett and clients like you all on the call today. I'm Strati Mustakis. I'm PC Bennett's content marketing specialist, and I'm joined by Ben Kress, your customer success manager. I'm sure you know him well. Ben has been in the position of customer success manager for about a year and a half now and attended last year's summit. So he's well positioned to share with you all the value that you're going to be able to get out of attending summit. Between the various receptions that goes on, the morning activities, and the breakout sessions, Ben's really going to dive into the detail about everything that happens over the week and what PC Bennett is specifically doing to host all of you in Las Vegas. So before we jump into the meat of this conversation, I'd just like to let all of you know in attendance that we do have the chat feature available as well as the Q&A feature. So if you have any questions that you have specifically about Summit that you'd like either Ben or I to address, please just feel free to send those in. And we can try and address those towards the tail end of the call once we go through some of the pre-planned material that we have. So with that, Ben, I just want to say thanks for joining us today, and let's kick this off. So can you start just by outlining the basics?
Yeah, welcome everybody. Excited.
Yeah, so if you could start with the when and where of Summit, that'd be great.
Yeah, so Summit's going to take place in late January 2024, January 28th through Wednesday, January 31st. Starts on Sunday evening and goes through Wednesday afternoon. And it's going to be held at the Wynn in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Cool, great, thank you. And so it looks like they've added an extra day to Summit this year. I think usually it was like a 2-day event, and now they've extended it to a 3rd day. What's on the calendar, and what's really being added in that extra day? What's Acumatica trying to get out of that?
Yeah, so Acumatica is really trying to make this more of a end client experience. In the past, it has been more geared towards partners and ISVs and clients, all kind of intermingled in there. But Acumatica is really making an effort toward making this event an end client event and making sure that there's a great ROI on the event. To take the time off work to travel to Las Vegas to attend for those 3 days. And basically, you'll have a welcome reception on Sunday evening, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are going to include keynotes, breakout sessions, and other fun events mixed in there on Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon. Acumatica does also offer on Monday morning, they're going to be doing a morning yoga session. And then Tuesday morning, there's going to be a run through Vegas. So kind of getting into the wellness side of things. But, that's kind of just a brief overview of what you can expect when you come to Summit.
Yeah, I'm sure knowing you're going to love going for that 6:15 in the morning run through Vegas.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah. So you mentioned that there's plenty of opportunities for things like breakout sessions. So can you talk about the types of topics that are going to be covered during those specifically? Because it seems like that's really the meat of the week.
Yeah, so in the past, Acumatica has done a 3-day training session, which is basically 4 and 8-hour days, really getting into the weeds of Acumatica. They've done away with that, and that's what that extra 3rd day is there for. So topics can range from anywhere from understanding GIs and report designer to how AI is influencing new features and processes in the industry and within Acumatica. And with the removal of those training sessions at the end of Summit, they're looking to add more opportunities within these breakout sessions to kind of have a bit more meat on the bone, so to say, throughout the training session, so that you have some tangible takeaways from the event and from those breakout sessions. The breakout sessions are also a great opportunity for Q&A with top Acumatica staff and experts, as well as networking with other users and ISVs to kind of get an understanding of how they're using the system, come to understand, different approaches to problems you may be having, and just general, usage of the system. We will be providing a link to the schedule where you can take a look at what the each specific breakout session is going to be, and kind of a little description about what's going to be happening during that breakout session. This year they've got, I think, 96 breakout sessions, which is going to be about 20 more than they've had in years past.
Yeah, that's great. And so, in terms of us sending over what that schedule looks like, I'll make sure to connect with Ben after this call to get everyone who's in attendance today, and then also anyone who couldn't make it, the recording of this webinar, as well as that link to the schedule, so that everyone has that relevant information and can start planning a little earlier than usual, just so you all get ahead of the game, which will be really helpful with Vegas being Vegas. So from a PC Bennett perspective, I think we can kind of dive into this a little bit, because we really love going to Summit because of the time we get to spend with our clients. It's really valuable for us to kind of get that face-to-face experience. We have people all across the US, and so anytime we get to be with you guys in person, it's really important to us to get a good understanding of your business, how you're using Acumatica, and how it's supporting you. And so Ben, can you tell us a little bit about like what we've done for clients in the past, or how they've been recognized at Summit, and kind of what we do for our clients there?
Yeah, so Curran, who's a furniture and rug distributor and manufacturer based in the Seattle area, they were actually recognized as part of John Case's keynote speech last year, as one of the drivers as far as the multi-base currency feature in the manufacturing piece of Acumatica. They needed that for their global presence in their manufacturing process, and they were integral in that implementation and development of that piece of the product. They were also featured in the product showcase. Acumatica has kind of a hall featuring different products from companies that are using Acumatica, and kind of what the wide-ranging company features are for what those products are offered. And Curran was one of those companies that was featured there. Now, Strada, you mentioned why we love seeing everybody in person at Summit. And I think the biggest thing is just being able to see people in person. Getting to connect virtually is great, and allows, cuts that distance out of the factor, or out of the equation, sorry. But, getting to see everybody in person, there's really no substitute for that. PC Bennett takes a lot of pride in doing a customer appreciation dinner every year at Summit. We will be doing that again this year. And it's, really just a night for us all to get together, hang out, enjoy each other's company, and celebrate over some good food and some drinks. So, that's a huge reason we go to Summit, is to see you guys. So we hope to see everybody there, and we'll have more details coming out about the customer dinner, as we're working to finalize some of those details about where and when. But it will be on Monday night, so January 29th. But we're still finalizing those times and those locations.
Yeah, fantastic. And we'll make sure to inform you guys as we get those things planned. You'll be informed right away, whether it's from Ben or through a marketing email. So just be on the lookout for that. And so Ben, I did mention during the introduction that you did go to Summit last year. And so can you tell us a little bit about the value that you got out of the event yourself, and just kind of what it was like for you as a newer employee of PCB at the time?
Yeah, so like I just mentioned, the top thing that I got out of Summit last year was getting to see all of our clients in person. Both at the Summit events and in the parties and reception hours that they held, as well as being a part of some of the breakout sessions with some of our clients, and then also our customer appreciation dinner. As Strati just alluded to, I am a newer to PC Bennett, about a year and a half now, and I'm also about a year and a half into my Acumatica career as well. So being newer to the product back in January, Summit was a great opportunity for me to expand my knowledge base of the product. I will preface that I am not an extremely technical person, but the sessions did a great job at helping expand my knowledge base of the product. I'd say they were probably 60-40 split of, high level understanding the product and how it works, and then more granular details about, certain functions of the system, like report designer, GIs, and then just the operation and how the system likes to operate. Another great benefit is getting to talk with folks from Acumatica and other ISVs. So ISVs are kind of those third-party products, independent software vendors that tie into Acumatica and allow you to do certain things that aren't native to the system. So these, they provided an opportunity to, get to see their products up close and personal, maybe a quick demo, and also just talk to them, expand, do a little networking, and kind of get to know people that we might be interacting with over the future months or years. And with that, there's so many ISV products. So getting to cruise the showroom floor was a great opportunity. A lot of products that you might not know about or consider were there in person, and you get to see them, live. But those were probably the biggest takeaways that I had from attending Summit. And I'm looking forward to seeing, the breakout sessions that they've got this year, and, what more I can take away from it in the coming year.
Sorry, one real quick kind of off script question, Ben, is in terms of ISVs, let's go into that a little bit deeper just so that people who may not know what an ISV is have a better idea. So can you just kind of relate that in terms of, ISVs that our clients typically use? I know Velixo is a really big one in the accounting space that kind of helps with, keeping everything in Excel. So can you just detail what an ISV is and maybe some of the ones that our clients would know of?
Yeah, so an ISV, like I mentioned, an independent software vendor, they're those third parties that tie into Acumatica. So Avalara, Velixo, Avid Exchange, those types of products that aren't necessarily native to Acumatica, but they tie into the system. SPS Commerce for EDI, Fusion. They allow you to get more use out of the system and provide greater value. Acumatica can't do everything all at once, so they rely on these independent software vendors to create products and kind of become experts in little niches of the product in Acumatica, and that way Acumatica can focus on the core of its product and work on enhancing it, and these vendors can work on certain subsects of the product and become experts in that realm.
Yeah, and that's really nice that there is a trade show where ISVs can be featured. So, you're not just going to Summit really just to get an understanding of Acumatica, but you can also get an understanding of add-ons that you can include in your Acumatica experience just to kind of make your business run as efficiently as possible on the system. So yeah, last question that we have kind of pre-planned. And yeah, again, if anyone in the audience has any questions, just feel free to throw them in the chat or Q&A feature. But Ben, can you talk about potential accommodations for the week, like where people should be staying? I mean, Vegas is a huge city, as we know, there's plenty of hotels, but if you could just kind of dive into some nitty-gritty logistics, that'd be great.
Yeah, so Las Vegas is Las Vegas. You have no shortage of options there. The Wynn obviously is where everything will be held. All of the summit related events are going to be held, at the Wynn. So those outside of the morning run through Vegas, that'll obviously happen through the Strip and through downtown. But the morning yoga, all of the breakout sessions, the keynotes, the nighttime party, and all the welcome receptions and closing receptions, those will all happen within the confines of the Wynn Resort. It's going to be your most convenient. It also will likely be your most expensive option. But really, my suggestion, from experience is the closer you stay, the better it is. It's really about your preference, your budget, maybe. The farther out you stay, the longer you're spending in travel. Vegas is a pretty small, compact city. So, even though logistically you're not traveling very far in a distance perspective, the farther out you stay, the more time you'll be finding taxis or Ubers. And there are, once you take a look at the schedule that we'll post, the different events, the last breakout session ends at 5. Some of the women in technology stuff starts, right at 5:30. And then following that women in technology, session, on Tuesday, we go right into the dinner and dinner and nightclub celebration at 7:30. So if you're wanting to stop back at your room at any point during the day, pick something up, drop something off, do a little freshening up, you do need to take that into consideration when you think about where you're going to be staying and what those options are. There, it is a lot of information, a lot of fun. So those days can get kind of long if you don't have the opportunity to go back to your room and freshen up or drop things off. So it's more about planning and what you're most comfortable with.
Yeah, and so I really appreciate you going into all of this detail about Summit 2024. I think hopefully the clients that we do have get a ton of value out of it, and this will be a good resource for us to hand out to people as they start planning their attendance. And so with that, we can kind of move into a Q&A section in case anyone in the audience has any questions. We do have one that was submitted ahead of time, and so that it has a lot to do with the breakout sessions. We've already talked about them a little bit, but I think when you go through the schedule on Acumatica's website and you see, I think you said there was almost 100 different sessions. How do you really parse through what's worthwhile to attend and how you can really get value out of those specific breakout sessions?
Yeah, so I think it's different for every person. I think a lot of it depends on what you are doing with the system, what your role at your company has to do with interacting with Acumatica, and also your level of comfort with the system. Your desire to want to learn more. You can be a little bit more aggressive and take some more in-depth, granular breakout sessions, or you can kind of stay higher level and reinforce your knowledge base. So I really, the best way that I kind of look at it is, what impacts me the most, and then, how do kind of prioritizing those up front and seeing, do I have any conflicting times? Obviously, you have so many to choose from at certain times. You have to prioritize. So that's kind of how I go about it. And then also, what piques my interest. Something may not have a ton of relation to what I am doing in the system, but it's something that I want to learn more about. It's something that could potentially help me do my job a little bit better, or help me work with a colleague and interact a little bit better. So those are just some of the things that I consider when trying to decide on what breakout sessions I'm going to attend.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so, yeah, if anyone has any other questions, please let us know. But as of right now, Ben, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Is there any
Great.
other details that you'd want to touch on?
Really just looking forward to seeing everybody with this new format that Acumatica has. I think it'll be a great time. As I said earlier, I think it's great value. You do get to spend, for us East Coasters, you do get to spend a few days in late January out in the beautiful weather of Las Vegas. So it's a great time, and also a lot of great information. It does take a little bit of digesting to get some of that benefit. Last year as a newer person to Acumatica, at times it felt like it was drinking out of a fire hose. But if you take notes and come back and digest those a little bit, things start to, the dots start connecting in your brain as you're working, and things really start, making sense to you. So I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody. I think it'll be a great time, and yeah, that's kind of my closing thoughts.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so if there's no additional questions, I think we can wrap up today's call by saying thank you all very much for attending and, submitting that question. I hope you're all leaving here with some motivation to join the PC Bennett team at Summit 2024 in January. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. You can either reach out to Ben. I'm sure you all have his email through the stuff that he hits you up with, but it's just as a reminder, it's benk@pcbennett.com. If you're looking for just a general email that you can use to reach out to us, you can always, no matter what the issue is, reach out to hello@pcbennett.com. We're always willing to help you guys out, no matter what those problems or issues may be. And even if you're looking for more information on Summit, we can absolutely provide you with the right resources to guide your decision-making process on whether or not you'd like to attend. So Ben, once again, I just want to give you a huge thank you for hopping on today's call, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day.